think this is the furthest this chair comes up. Oh my gosh, guys, I just got out of a 4-hour meeting. Well, probably 3.5 hours, which is so long. So long. So my brain is fried, but I want to go over a few ideas with you guys and get your opinion about something. So this meeting was about how we start to deliver technical information through an institute in ASCE. And so right now, I don't know if you guys know, but at the institute levels, we create a ton of publications. So these are like design standards, best practices, just it's a lot of academic publications, but it's also used for like practicing engineers and engineers in the industry. So we create all these documents, and it goes through a quality review process. But what they don't have right now is a process for helping everybody who's making this awesome content figure out how best to deliver the awesome content, which is really neat because I just had this blog post come out, and the blog post was centered around so we've got this new future workplace, we've got all this new technology, we have millennials and Gen Z and baby boomers and Gen X all in the workplace at once, and how do we start to function together in this new futuristic modern place? Ooh, I'm getting very heated up over this. So, I'm suggesting we need to change the industry, and then here I walk into this meeting, and the meeting is about a way that we can change the industry, which is kind of just luck that I walked into it. I'm here for the EWRI Leadership Weekend in Ruston, Virginia, which is why I'm in a hotel room. And I didn't know what to do with myself because I'm here to represent young professionals, and I think it's a way for the committee to have some newer faces because it is an aging society and an aging career path, and the industry, everybody at the median age it's got to be in like the 40s. I don't know that for sure, but I'm sure it is up there. So we need new young faces, and we need to rebrand engineering and what people are doing, which is a lot of like what I do on my blog, right? Like I am working on these awesome infrastructure projects, and we have a need for many, many more awesome infrastructure projects, especially given the state of our current infrastructure. And that the president just signed this bill for funding for water infrastructure. So we've got all this funding coming, we got all this work coming, and now we need engineers to fill the technical role. And it's this really awesome technical role, and I want to show people how awesome it is that they come and help me fill it, and I get to work with awesome people and do cool projects, which is the highlight of my job, I think. So I was here to represent the millennials, or actually I was probably mostly here to just get my own technical background up and start becoming involved within EWRI and some of these committees and help producing this technical information and furthering our engineering industry. So I didn't quite know what to do with myself when I got here. I flew in from Austin on a nonstop flight this morning, and I got in like 11:30 and took a lift out here. And I'm here in this beautiful hotel, like, looking at the program, and I guess it doesn't really start till tomorrow, but there was 2 technical meetings today, and I thought I was supposed to fly in this morning, which is why I got here this morning so early. So one of the 2 programs, or the 3 meetings, was about, technical product innovation and modernization, TPIM. And I thought, well, that sounds the most interesting. And so I had planned to just set up with my laptop and like work and like kind of listen in and see if I could help, I don't know, just have something useful or valuable to say in the committee. And of course, got totally wrapped up into it, giving my opinion and them trying to convince me for a chair spot, which, by the way, if you want a position at a nationally recognized society, it is so easy to get involved, which I didn't even know how easy it was until somebody told me to get involved. I think that's why everybody who is involved, is because somebody specifically said, hey, you should get involved. And I don't know that people realize how easy it is. So anyway, I'm involved. I'm here at this leadership and council weekend, which you get an invite to come, and then they pay your expenses, so it's not quite like the Congress, which is a conference that's open to everybody. This is just for the task committees and people producing deliverables. and I am sitting in the back, just gonna go and like work on other work stuff that I have to do, and they start talking about, the goal of this new committee that we're just starting is to figure out through surveying or data that we already have, or somehow we have to get data so that we can then inform how people are creating these products, with the intention of being able to reach more people with the products, right? Or reach the right audience. Because there's no use in creating something and then it gets stuck in like this corner of the internet that nobody ever sees. And that is how academic publications are sometimes, or only other people that are very specific in that field are seeing them. And then we have this like information gap between the people creating these publications and then the people who could be using them that might not know that they even exist, that they could be using them, right? Or at least that's like in my head how I have it. So I'm sitting in this meeting and they're talking about, how can we rearrange how we are presenting this data? Is it webinar based that we need to go to? Do we need to have, I don't know, little seminars, or have speakers come to different cities? Or you're like, what is the best way to do this? And they've got some data on what links people are clicking, and somebody used the term hot link. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a term, hot link. So they did some surveying, they figured out which hot links that people are clicking on. And I was sitting there trying to be a fly in the wall, and then I just realized, like, this is changing the engineering industry. This is what we need to do. And how awesome that I just, like, happened to be sitting in this room where there was 10 of us, and it would have been so much easier to be like, oh, I don't know where to go, I'm just going to go and work in my hotel room. But for whatever reason, I decided, I'm just going to go work in this room that other people are meeting in and see if I can be useful. And that is how I get wrapped up in way too many committees, because I do that too often. And then I always feel like, oh yeah, there's something here that I can do to contribute, to help. But I never go in thinking that I'll have anything useful to say to this technical product innovation and modernization committee, right? So now I have all these ideas in my head, like, how do we figure out what type of data people are consuming and how they like to be consuming it, and how we can be producing it or delivering it in a way that they will actually use when they're making engineering design decisions and doing designs and things like that. So that's what I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on. What do you think we need to do, knowing how you consume information and how you're probably really good with the internet and really good with short videos, maybe YouTube, maybe embedded videos, maybe you go to blogs or hang out on Reddit or Twitch or however you get information. How would you get technical information to do your jobs better, or to help you with studying in school, or just to figure out what's going on in the industry if you're interested in engineering? So how would you guys get information? And also, I want your thoughts on helping out with this actual committee. So they want a diverse representative committee with people from all the different technology areas. So like, I am there. I am now the groundwater committee representative. They've got new professionals. They've got the stormwater and municipal water and urban infrastructure and stormwater, and like all the different representations we want to be able to have people from those different groups. In the committee, we want people from both academia and from industry and government, and we want people that are further along in their careers and are making decisions on what books and resources they're buying and which. So in engineering, you need professional development hours, and so a lot of webinars or web series companies will buy and then have like all their employees sit in. Everybody who sits in on that gets their PDHs or their development hours, which they need for their licensing. And so we want people that are making those decisions and figuring out which publications that they're buying for their company, and also the people that are consuming them and that are actually sitting in that lecture telling you how you design an MSE wall, mechanically stabilized earth wall. So we want lots of different types of people in the committee, which is great. But knowing that we're aging as an industry, let's not buffer it from the younger end and have all of these Gen Z and millennial people that are giving their perspective, because they are the future, right? They're the next generation. And so once all the people who really like to read out of a print book is out of the industry, we want to set ourselves up for the future and this like new future model for engineering, which is what I've been working on for my next blog post, which is coming along very slowly, very, very slowly. So yes, if you guys want to help out and you're in EWRI, let me know, because I want you on my team and I want to have lots of millennial input and be able to foresee what we need to be using as professional technical standards in the future, in the next 20, 30 years. And we don't even have to think that far out if we don't want to. The next 10 years, what are we going to need? And then how do we transition to what technology might be around in 20 years? Because who knows what sort of technology we'll have. We have to at least get to the next 10 years and figure out when people like me are supervisors and when we're managing teams and figuring out, you know, what sort of lunchtime brown bags and seminars and things like that would be helpful for our teams. People like me will need that help and that input from people who are younger and who are more tech savvy than me in my generation. So yeah, send me a message if you want to help out with this committee. And also if you have any ideas for me on this committee, since I am now overcommitting myself again. Things just sound so interesting, and then I'm like, yes, I have ideas for you, and let's do this. And then I sign up to do it and forego any social life I might have had. So I need to go get dinner because I am becoming loopy, I think, because I've been sitting in a room for so long. So let me know your thoughts in the comments and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.